So today we're going to talk about the 2024 schedule because we got a lot more information on exactly what's going on. We're going to start with this video here, the Valorant Champions 2024 format explained. I put on subtitles for you because I know you're all young and need subtitles now.
Absolutely magnificent! It's just unreal! That shot! Pick up the plan, he's swinging around the corner! And they manages to get it! This is devastating!
Welcome back to the Valorant Champions Tour, where the top Valorant teams from around the globe compete to become the next world champion of Valorant. New here? We've got you.
No.
Here is everything you need to know to get plugged into the 2024 season. This season brings us plenty of new teams to watch.
All done! Gentlemates have made it!
3 new Ascension teams join the fray in EMEA, Pacific, and Americas. Gentlemates, Bleed Esports, and G2. We are excited to introduce 10 new partner teams and 1 Ascension team from the recently added VCT CN. Another fresh change to look forward to for 2024 is the introduction of Championship Points. Championship Points are designed to reward teams for strong performances throughout the season. Teams will earn 1 point for every match win during International League play, with each league winner taking an additional 3 points. Teams will also earn 3 points for coming out on top at their kickoff tournament and Masters events. The highest point earner in each league will punch their ticket to champions.
Okay, so that's something that we didn't know before and is obviously quite important. That if you are the highest winning team, you get the most points from your kind of region, you will go to champs, right? Like, it's kind of like a safe security blanket of you will go to champs. It also means that, for these kind of tournaments, before it was like, Team Liquid won EMEA last year, but like, who cares, right? Well, now there is a reason to care somewhat, and those games might mean something because you get the points, right? So that's kind of like an extra way of kind of doing this and, making every game kind of matter, of course. And obviously, you'll want the points because you want that free ticket to champs, of course.
Now, let's talk about the season. We'll get things started with kickoff tournaments in each league, taking place between February 17th and March 2nd. The top 2 teams from each kickoff tournament advance directly to Masters Madrid, taking place in mid-March, where we'll establish the frontrunners for the 2024 season.
Boys everywhere, the double swing!
Next, we head straight into the first of 2 International League stages. The top 3 finishers from each League Stage 1 playoff will compete at our first ever China-hosted global event, Masters Shanghai. Following Masters Shanghai, it's time for International League Stage 2. Each league's top 3 teams in Stage 2 playoffs, plus a 4th team based on championship points, will join the fight to become the 2024 Valorant World Champion.
Okay, so this is something we didn't know before as well. So Stage 1 and Stage 2 are going to play out pretty much the same. And we'll get to this as well, because there is some confusion here, I think, with how they've done this. But I think I understand what's going on here. We'll get to it all. But Stage 1 is somewhat like, we saw from last year. But it is different, but we'll get into that. And then Stage 2 is kind of the same thing. Again, we'll get a playoffs and whatever. And here's the thing that I don't know, and I don't think they really answered this question in all the things we're going to look at today. I don't know if you already have enough points. Like, do you need to care? I don't quite understand the points. Is it like if, say, Fnatic won all these events, right, and just had an amazing amount of points, but then they won the playoffs as well? Is it like the next highest that doesn't qualify but has the most points? Is that how it works? I don't quite know, but there it is. But they also released information about the kickoff tournament as well and what we're about to see. And the thing is, how do you run a tournament for 11 teams? Not the easiest number to work with. Well, this is what they have done. They've split it up into 3 different stages. The first one is a group stage. So they have 3 groups, 2 with 4 and 1 with just 3 teams here. And, they play a kind of double limb, normalish bracket, as you can see just here. Then there's this stage 2 where all the teams that finish second. So if you finish first in the group and you just win both your games, you go straight to the kind of this final stage. If you finish second where you lost 1 game but still went through, then you enter this kind of like 3-team round robin where you each play each other, and then whoever wins that becomes the 4th team in this playoffs. And then, whoever, wins these games, these 2 games here, this looks like single elim, goes to Masters Madrid. That's how it's going to work. Okay, but now let's go through some of the specifics, and I'll give my thoughts as we go through here as well. So the kickoff tournament, the group stage. 11 teams will be seeded and split into 3 groups. We don't quite know how exactly they'll seed them. I don't think it says here, but we'll see. 2 groups will feature 4 teams, and 1 group should feature 3 teams. As we saw, the region's top team, the highest placing team at Champs 2023, will be placed with a group of 3 and a bye into the second round. So this is something some of you might have seen, that this team here in the group of 3 gets a bye in their first game, only needs to win 1 game to do this, right? And it's the highest placing team from champs. So that means that it's Fnatic for EMEA, it's Paper Rex for Pacific, it's EDG for China, and it's EG for Americas. EG get the bye. They only need to win 1 game to make it to the final stage of playoffs here. And, you know, they have to play 2 games potentially to make it to Masters Madrid. EG, this org that we all hate and has been a mess and probably doesn't deserve to be in the league, they get the benefit of this because they won champs, which I think is really, really funny. But let's keep going. So yeah, so if you're Fnatic or Paper Rex, you literally only need to win 2 games to make it to Masters Madrid. So keep that in mind. You know, they do have a big advantage there. So the remaining 10 teams will be sorted into pools based on 23 performance and drawn into the remaining 10 slots. Don't really know exactly, you know, how this will work, but I guess we'll just have to see. Each group will feature a double elimination bracket with best of 3 matches. The winning team of each group will move on to the playoff stage. The second place team of each group will play in the play-in stage. Now, the 3 second place teams face off in a round-robin format, with 1 team earning the spot for the playoff stage. 4 teams compete through a single elimination bracket, so once we get to here, with the 2 finalist teams securing their place for Masters Madrid. The team coming from the play-in stage, that's the teams that finish second, will be placed on the opposite side of the bracket from the team from their original group. So here, for instance, in this, right, it says that Group A will play the play-in winner. But that's not actually true, because if the second team from Group A won the play-in stage, then it would not be the team from Group A that played them, right? It would be a different team instead. And basically you won't play the team from your group again here in the playoffs, essentially. So we get more different matchups, of course. So yeah, that's the way it'll work. Kickoff winner will receive preferential seeding at Masters Madrid. So again, I assume whoever wins, if you win, you will play a team that finished second in your region, right? So this kind of final game here. And of course, you will get the 3 championship points. So this game, like if we did this last year, this game here wouldn't have mattered. I assume that these are best of 5s. It would make sense that they are best of 5s. It's a single elim, and, you know, Masters Madrid is on the line, and I assume the final is a best of 5 as well, although it doesn't actually say. But I'm just assuming that. So the season format, the climb to champs. Following Madrid, Stage 1 will run from April to early May, opening up the floor for the top 3 teams from each league to qualify for the next global event, Shanghai. Stage 2 will begin immediately after Masters Shanghai and qualify 4 teams from each region to champs. The winner of the season playoffs will be crowned the International League champion and earn the 1 seed for their region at champions. Now, the 1 seed at champs doesn't matter that much because there's 4 teams in each group. Like, finishing first seed for Shanghai matters a lot, because you get a bye straight to the playoffs because there's only 12 teams. Whereas for champs, it's not the biggest deal in the world. Although, again, it could matter for seeding next year, as we saw, you know, kind of for this year. Finishing good in champs is good. At the end of the stage, 3 teams will earn champions qualifications by finishing the top 3 of stage 2 playoffs, whilst the 4th team will earn their spot through championship points. So the way that I'm going to guess this works, the way that this is worded, is that, again, if a team did dominate like Fnatic last year, right, and they won the stage 2 playoffs as well, you know, so they've already made it to champs, I'm going to assume it's the team with the highest championship points that has not won the playoffs. So basically, the championship points are like a fallback for you. If you struggle in stage 2, you know, don't worry, you've got a fallback, which also might mean that if you do like win everything, you know, at the start of the year and don't drop a game for the first part of the year, you might not need to try in stage 2. I do think that's potentially how it might work. If you just got so many more points than everyone else that no one can catch you up, you know, it might just be like, we're already through. And so who cares? That could happen. In 2024, championship points will be our method to measure it. They kind of already said this in the video of how you get it. Although the 1st and 2nd seed in each stage playoff. So again, like last year, it's a 16 playoffs like it was last year. And the first top 2 get a bye in those playoffs for the Masters and Champs event. You get an extra point because obviously you don't play the game, so you just get an extra point. Anyway, but there is a big thing here that I have kind of glossed over, and that is, I think, and the way that this says this, right, 10 regular season matchups per team across stage 1 and 2. I think that what that means is that you play 5 games in the regular season. You don't play like we did last year, like 9 games in a row for 9 weeks. I think you just play 5. I think, the way that this is worded. And you play 5 in stage 1 and 5 in stage 2. I think that that is how they are doing it. The reason that I say that is because it says stage 1 will run from April to early May. April to early May is 5 weeks. Right? That's 5 weeks. You can't fit 10 games in this time, can you? Like, that would be a lot of Valorant to be playing. So I'm assuming here that what they've done is they've split it up, right? We're only going to get 5 games in stage 1 and 5 games in stage 2, and they'll just, mix and match who they play in each stage. And obviously you won't play the same teams twice, you'll just play everyone once, but in the separate stages, which could be a bit weird because, again, you've got 11 teams, so it's not going to be in 2 separate groups, right? Next year, when we have 12 teams, I think that they might do a group of 6 and a group of 6, right? And then mix up the groups for the next round. But this year, because we've got 11 teams, you can't really have a group of 5 and a group of 6, because then there's kind of like always one team that would play like in the group of 6. Like it wouldn't really work. So this is how they're gonna do it. We'll see, I guess, whether this works and how it works. But obviously, if you only play 5 certain teams, you might play 5 really weak teams in stage 1, and that might get you to a Masters tournament, right? So it might be a little weird if they are doing it like that, but I assume that they just realized, like, if we keep adding teams to these leagues, we can't have like 14 weeks, right, for the stage. It just doesn't make any sense. So splitting up probably does make more sense, and yeah, that's how it's gonna work. Now, overall, I think this is pretty good. I do think it's funny that EG get a bye. For all the other regions, like Fnatic getting it, Paper Rex getting it, EDG getting it, makes sense, right? They were the best teams, very clearly. But for EG, I just think that's pretty funny. But yeah, that's the way it's gonna be. But maybe this will matter for next year as well, right? Do well at champs, I guess, would be my advice to all the teams. Be the best team at champs from your region, and yeah, that's it essentially. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. This is some big news, and yeah, I guess we'll see how it works.